Hello peeps, I'm just ecstatic today because I get to share some layouts with you. Look at this mound. These are my creations for 2018 and I really have fun watching other people do flip throughs. So I hope that you have fun watching people do flip throughs. And you know, I look at this stack and it makes me so happy because it represents so much creativity that I've tried to pour out this year. And I actually have, this is 2018, I still have a stack not quite as high of 2017 and then about half worth of 2016. And after I do this flip through, I want to go through all my albums and do some organization, put everything away. I know there are scrappers that dread putting away their filing away their layouts, but I actually enjoy it. And maybe I don't enjoy it that much because I haven't done it in 2 years, but I'm looking forward to doing that. And I plan to do some recording of that. We'll see what happens, but you know, I'll share along with the process of reorganizing my albums and filing everything away. But for now, we get to do a flip through, and if you've been following along on my channel all month, you know, you might have seen all of you wouldn't have seen all of these on YouTube because I didn't have videos for every single one. So hopefully you'll be seeing new stuff, and if you've never been on my channel before, welcome, and this will give you a good overview of my scrappy style. So now I was sick last year. I was just watching my flip through from last year and I was sick then, and I'm sick now too, but I'm trying to keep the coughing to a minimum, and if I do start coughing, I'll just edit that out. You might have some, you know, like blank spots in the audio, hopefully not, but I think that's more preferable than the coughing fits. Well, let me get to it. Okay, so I did take some notes, and I'm going to try to just briefly go through and just tell you a little bit about each layout. I started off the year with a double pager, and okay, so if I put a paper clip on it, it means that I do have a process video for it. And I started out the year with a double pager, and I'm quite smitten with this layout and the collection that I used, which was the Bella Boulevard. Oh gosh, I'm going to be tongue-tied all this time, aren't I? Bella Boulevard Welcome Home collection. This was done for Get It Scrapped, and the assignment was to use the Farm Fresh style, and that collection just embodied it for me, and I love how this turned out. Did a double layout. I do like to split photos in the middle. I feel that unites it better, and I'm perfectly fine with the fact that my albums are 3-ring and there will be a gap. Not a problem for me, but anyways, that's that. And then we have, this one was done for the Wild Hair Kit, so I was continuing my design team at Wild Hair Kit Club through July. In January, this is one of the first ones. Products, I believe I have some pebbles. Some of it is older pebbles, and there is some Paige Evans, one of her collections. And I think these come from Color Cast Designs. And this is a stamp from Ali Edwards. So that was a lot of fun to do this really big photo, which is one of my favorite photos ever that we've had. There is a process video for this. I'll probably attach to the video like my top 5 favorites videos that I have, because you can only do up to 5. Otherwise, just go through my channel and you can find these. This was the same Wild Hair Kit with the same mix of products, but I stuck with some of the pebbles and the Paige Evans. This is also Paige Evans, and then I did some mixed media, and I'm not a, it's a newer thing for me. I wasn't great at it, but I really like the texture, and I just like the combination of colors. This was a lot of fun. And I got some, these are from A Flair for Buttons, or what the Wild Hair Kits has a, what do you call it, collaboration with. So that's where the flair comes from. And then I have a layout for Get It Scrap. There is a process video for this one. And this was using Cocoa Vanilla Studio, quite a few Cocoa Vanilla Studio and Simple Stories die cuts. So like I think this is Simple Stories, and most of these are Simple Stories. And then I had this, it's like denim paper and then denim stickers. So I have that on there. And then we have another Wild Hair kit. This was my kit for February. And this is a Heidi swap from her Magnolia line. And it's like a paper where I was like, oh my God, I love it so much, but I don't want to cover it. And so I just concentrated everything to one side. And I really love how this came out. And these are Studio Calico frames. I believe this is like Boys Fort from Pink Fresh Studio, and some color cast design. These are from Studio Calico, but the wood veneer and the acrylics were from color cast design, and A Flair for Buttons. I really like how this came out. I like, it felt like a diner kind of thing, this paper, so that's why I did that way. And then the same Wild Hair kit, using some of the Pink Fresh Studio Boys Fort and sequin mix from the Spiegel Mom Scraps. She does exclusive mixes for the Wild Hair kit and A Flair for Buttons. This is a cut file from the cut shop, and then these were like circles, and I actually put the flare on each period. And then the background paper was one I used. I can't even remember what it was from, but look, I love this mist combination with the green, and there's gold, which I don't use very often, but I did a few times this year, and some bronze too, so it was really fun. I don't know if you can see the sparkle. I think so. So there is a process video for this one. This one does not have a process video. It's the same kit, and just using, I just think I realized everything's a little off. Some more of the Boys Fort, and these are like from Studio Calico, and more acrylics from, and the wood veneer from Color Cast Design. And this was just kind of an experimental thing. I just wanted to capture the way the Christmas decorations were on Oxford Street and a couple other streets in London when we went, and so I was kind of mimicking that, of them hanging from the lines. This was for Get It Scrapped. The topic for this one was actually a grid 2x2 design. There were several options, and I just picked one from the list and just did my page design with that. And I wanted this one to be very clean and simple, which isn't very natural for me. This feels a little too square, but I did mix it up a little bit by putting my title here, subtitle, and then the journaling just sort of fills in this gap. So it's not totally square, but squares, you know? No process video for this one though. This is a layout I made for Simple Stories to get on the design team. Well, it happened to just be one that I made right before I applied, and it has all the Simple Stories one line. This is the Bloom and Grow, which is a couple of years old now, and it's one of my absolute favorites with the colors and the gnomes. But I tend to do a lot of mix and match in my scrapping unless I have a specific collection I'm supposed to work with. So a lot of the stuff I had to I have to even apply to design teams, don't necessarily use all their products. So I wanted at least one page with all their products. So this is the one I created just before I applied, and then I submitted, you know, some other layouts just to show my style, but it just didn't have all their product. I know I'm going on tangents. Let me stop now. No process video for this one though. And see, my voice is starting to go already, and I'm barely started. All right, this was my first layout for Simple Stories. This is using the Travel Notes collection. And yeah, I just wanted to play with some of these. They have 6x8 pads now, and I just really liked the Travelog one and that I could use for journaling, but I didn't want it off to the side, so I built on top. And, you know, strips of paper are always fun. I do tend to like to use some dark backgrounds, but you'll see later on, as the year wore on, I seem to embrace the white cardstock more and more. Sorry, this one does not have a process video, but this one does. This was Forget It Scrapped, and the challenge here was to use pom-poms. So I used a cut file that's just dandelions. It's from the Silhouette store. I don't know if it's what particular designer. And then I backed it. This paper is an older Paige Evans collection. I did use some Felicity Jane stuff. And then I backed it with a generic purple paper, I don't know, on the back. And then I put purple pom-poms. And there is a process video for this one. And I just love, love, love. This has got to be my favorite sticker, alpha sticker from Freckle Fawn. All right, this is the Wild Hair kit. This kit was primarily Pink Fresh Studio Case of the Blahs, maybe all of it. So I did this. Now with Wild Hair kits, I tended to ask for petite kits so that I could mix in my own things, and that's where these came from. This is from a shop called The Crafty Pocket. She's on Etsy. She's got an Instagram account too, and I adore her stuff. I don't use it enough. One of my goals in 2019 is to use her stuff more. But anyways, back to the kit. The background paper is an old paper. I don't even know from where, but all this is Pink Fresh Studio Case of the Blahs, and I really had fun. And this is one of my favorite color combinations, green and gray. My hair right now is green and gray, actually. So this is fun. Same kit. This one does have a process video. This one also, same kit, process video, Pink Fresh Studio, Case of the Blahs, and a cut file that was designed for the Wild Hair kits. When you order her deluxe kit, I think just the deluxe kit, you can get a cut file, like actual cut piece of paper, sent also in your kit. But I just got the digital file and I cut it myself. Process video for that. I said that already, didn't I? All right, this is a lot of fun. Oh my gosh, lots of fun. I keep checking to see if I'm cutting everything off. I'm so sorry when I do. Okay, so this was Forget It Scrapped, and the assignment was to use emoji. And then I loaded it up with tons of other things because I decided that emoji embody like what my teen daughter's teen years experience, and it's something that didn't even exist, you know, when I was a teen. So I did this comparison one. I cut these are generic speech bubbles that I got a clip art and I traced myself and I cut them out. I kind of wish I hadn't done the outline here. I did this with Sharpie because it's quite dark, but I did really want contrast, and I got some of that contrast from the paper. This is Jelly Bean Soup, and it happens to be the kit that was about social media. That's why I picked it. But then I backed it with pure whites to get some of that contrast. And yeah, I just loaded it up. I have a lot of, let's see, there is some, this is Dear Lizzie, and that's Dear Lizzie. That's a little older. There's some stuff from Pebbles, like this is one of their Girl Squad Thickers pack. there, and this is from Pebbles, that same one. The emojis come from Simple Stories, one of their lines, and then a lot of other Simple Stories things like these Brads and that Brad. And then I have, you know, Studio Calico. This is Jelly Bean Soup. You name it. I put a hodgepodge, and some things are just clip art that I cut out myself. So the idea was old-timey stuff and very modern social media stuff. And then these three go with her and these three go with me, and that's how it came out. Anyways, I like it. It's fun. One thing I've done a lot this year is doing my journaling on vellum. You'll see that in several layouts. It's become one of the things that I like to do when I type up my journaling quite a bit. Did I mention there's a process video for this one? Okay, this is Simple Stories. I just completely fell in love with this paper. You can see, hopefully, there is some rose gold on it. I love type. It's fabulous. There is a process video for this, and then I did some stitching and some mixed media, mostly just dabbed acrylic paint, and then I did cut out the me on my silhouette and then stitched around it. And another thing I did a few times this year is when I do mats, I kind of like just fan out some papers, and I like to do that rather than, I don't really want to like mat on top of a mat like concentrically, because that feels very dated to me. So I'll do something like this where I fan it out. And little pom-poms on this one. Pom-poms are really fun. I've embraced that too. Simple Stories, another one. This one was using, this was the I Am collection. It's a newer I Am collection. They did have one a couple of years ago that was also titled I Am. This was Crafty Girl collection for Simple Stories, and I decided to scrap making the team and, you know, having my face on their design team, you know, announcement and anything, which feels a bit weird, but this was fun. It was a little challenging I had this vision in my head of these clusters, but I was very deliberate, and it just took me a while to figure out the layering. It was very, there's a lot going on in the layers, and it just took my brain a little while, but it's all contrasted with the white cardstock. This is actually basil. One of my favorite textures is their corduroy, so that gives it a little interest. But yeah, I really had fun picking things out that felt like they were part of me in this Crafty Girl collection to talk about how I'm crafty. And one other thing that I've loved to do are the little peekaboo pockets. I continued that on 2018, started it in 2017. It's a lot of fun. I don't know if you're seeing the back sides of these. The back sides can get really crazy, can't they? So there is no process video for this one though. All right, this was Wild Hair Kits. This was super fun. A cut file from Paper Issues, and it's backed with, I can't even remember what was in this kit. I do know it was a lot of Chamel's box of crayons. It's like these and all the little stickers. I put little puffy stickers and little chipboard stickers within the areas that have, you know, like O's and A's and stuff. It was so much fun. And putting them like color on color. This was so fun. I did alter the cut file because it had some lovey-dovey, like more like couples sentiments so I cut that out and copied and pasted some of the other words. And this has a process video, and it includes how I did that portion on my Silhouette software. And then messy. Sometimes you just want to shove the thread in, a la Missy Whitten. She's such an inspiration to us all. All right, same kit, mostly Chamel, a box of crayons. This was, actually there was a challenge on the Wild Hair Kits that month. We each of us design team members scrap lifted another design team member, and I lifted Kira Ness, the wonderful, amazingly talented Kira Ness. And is she Kira Gets Crafty on Instagram? And she had a layout where she'd done the messy stitching within a circle shape, which never had occurred to me, and it was so much fun. So this is what I came up with. And I love that little chameleon. You know, I have a hard time with theme stuff and not keeping it with theme, but it was perfect for this photo of my daughter just painting, because, you know, kids paint all sorts of things. Mostly it was all about the color. She loves chameleons and toucans now. Back then, you know, I didn't know, but yeah, it all fits, and this is a lot of fun. I believe this is a Paige Evans paper, though. See the back? Lots of, I use more washi in the back sides of things than I actually do as a creative element on my pages. Okay, this is one that I'm very proud of this year, and one of my absolute favorite layouts I've ever made. There is a process video for this. This was for Get It Scrapped, and the challenge was creative stitching. So I turned to one of my other loves, which is embroidery, and there was an actual embroidery pattern I've had pinned forever on my Pinterest. They had these columns of different colored rainbow order, and each column had different patterns stitched within them. I basically copied that pattern that's on a little pillow. I made it into a layout, and I did use a white background because I wanted the colors to be pure. And I used one of my favorite cardstocks is the Paper Accents. It's a smooth cardstock. It's white smoke, and it's like 120 pounds. It's so thick, and just when you paint on it, it's so smooth. So I did mix the Tim Holtz Distress inks in different colors, and did a little wash of stripe for each color, and then I did my stitching on top to match. And the process video shows you not only how I do the watercolor to get the really smooth effect, also how I did most of these stitches, like a tutorial showing you up close. So this would be one video that I would recommend as being somewhat unique to most process videos out there, because how many people actually embroider a whole thing as their background, right? And a lot of fun. These are all simple stories. Most of these are simple stories. There's some Bella Boulevard ones, these little word strips. And I took a page from Miss Sue's Fish, who always does these amazing butterflies. I did them in a smaller scale, but she does layered butterflies with vellum and all that. Mine are teeny. You can't really see the layers too much, but anyways, I have to give her credit because she does amazing butterflies. And yeah, this is a layout that I was extremely proud of. Oh, this is Felicity Jane vellum that I ripped, put up on the edge. And always looking at the back side, they're just crazy, cray. All right, this is a layout I did for Get It Scrapped, and the topic here was actually creative journaling. So this is a story of my daughter. You know how the kids always ask you at night to fill their water bottle when you're trying to, you know, you're supposed to be sleeping. So I just used different tile stickers, and a lot of them are, there's some Simple Stories, some Bella Boulevard. I think these are Jelly Bean Soup. Some of them are extremely old. And then this is Bella Boulevard for sure. And I used those to just, anything that she said, like she has little sayings. You know how little kids have little sayings? That's what I used the tile stickers for. And then the rest is vellum that I typed up and cut up. And it's a pain in the butt to do this much when you're moving it around, but I got there in the end. And then cut file is from Paper Issues, and it was all the way around. And then I realized that because I have a dark paper on the background, it was interfering with the journaling. So I just stuck the cut arrows back in, but it had been after I did my mixed media, the splatters and stuff. So it's got an interesting effect where the arrows are white. I kind of really like it. All right, so Bella Vivard, we got some Evolicious. Do y'all know Evolicious? And some Color Cast Design, or yeah, this one's, I think this is Color Cast Design, maybe Ellie Studio, I think it's Color Cast Design. Some old flair, new flair, and I made, back a couple years ago now, my own enamel dots out of perler beads because they are stripy and I love it and I want to use more. Okay. This was Wild Hair Kits, and mostly I believe this is a Jen Hadfield Pool Party line. There's a couple other things. I think one of these is Heidi Swap, but yeah, this was a lot of fun. This paper, this is from the Jen Hadfield, is you can see I haven't even stuck these down. It had the diamond pattern in the middle, so I followed that with some strips of paper. It was a lot of fun. This is really, really, really old. So if you're the kind of person that likes to see old stash being used, I like to sprinkle that in, even when if it's a design team assignment. So this is also that same kit from the Wild Hair Kits, and again, some Pool Party, some Heidi Swap. I used Heidi Swap Color Shine. I had fun with this one. But this had all sorts of things on it. There is some Paige Evans stuff, and then the Pebbles, Jen Hadfield. Mixed in, I used some more flair from Crafty Pocket. She seriously has some of the best flair. Not that I don't like the flair from other places, but she's got some fun ones. And I think this is Pink Fresh Studio that was in the kit too. And then I used some old Allie Edwards word art to do that on my Lightroom. Now there is a process video for this one, and it includes how I, in Lightroom, did the overlays. In Lightroom and then export to Photoshop. I did the overlays and then printed and all that. So that's included. And then this was a petite kit as well, and I brought in a whole bunch of different fun alphas for that. Simple Stories. This one's called Oh Baby, the line is. And it's just super duper sweet. And I used a Simple Stories cut file from the Silhouette Shop. It's actually a wreath, but I cut it out of the, the polka dot paper, so I didn't want it to look like an actual wreath. And it just makes a nice little frame to my big photo. And yeah, this one's just brings me warm fuzzies. Very fun, very fun. Cute line. This was done for Get It Scrapped, and the topic for this month that I had was actually another, it was like a sketch, it's actually another design, like a layout design that Debbie has in some of her older, the ebooks and stuff. So I used that design, which was basically like this half top, half bottom, and then like a photo here, and then it had like maybe two photos here. I combined it into one strip of photos, and then I just went to town decorating. It's a lot of, this one's a lot of Ella Studio, including I think these are also Ella Studio. Now this is like Marie-Pierre Capistran's line, that's a Christmas line that's in Pretty Little Studio. Yeah, I mean, there's so much, I can't even point it all out. I think this is these are freckle fawn. So this is a big mix and match, and that's one of the things I loved about my assignments with Get It Scrapped is I could just go to town mixing and matching, which is something I really am passionate about. But yeah, this is just full of goodies, and there's sadly no process video though. Sometimes either I try to record process videos for everything, but sometimes either I just don't have time to edit, or something happened to the video. I think in that case, like part of the video got cut off. All right, this is Get It Scrapped as well, but this was part of a class. This was design inspiration using nature, and here I did my little trick of fanning out my layers behind my photo, my mat. The design inspiration in the class, I showed the photos that inspired me, which happened to be close-ups of some of these same plants. And you know how cacti radiate out like this? That's what inspired the mats behind here. Also the coloring, the actual photo of the photo, not this photo, but the photo I took as inspiration was on a wood table, and there were white pebbles, and that's where I got the coloring, and then used these. And I love how they continue on, and they sort of meld with the speckling of light on this photo. There's a lot of reasons, and that's one of the things also I love about Get It Scrapped is I am very purposeful in picking things out, and they are there for a reason. And I love that Get It Scrapped, you in these classes you get to hear all the reasoning for everything. There's a method to my madness, and there's a method to the madness of many designers, and that's what I try to come across as. I try to show that. I'm probably explaining too much right now, sorry. Yeah, just a lot of products. LA Studio I think is a lot of, and I think this is Pebbles. Okay, this is Simple Stories, and this collection was called Hello Summer, although I titled my layout Hello Diving. Oh, by the way, this one is available in the class at Get It Scrapped. If you remember this year, your Get It Scrapped is discontinued as of the new year, but everyone who's been a member or has a membership as of January 2nd, you can still buy one up to January 2nd, you'll have access for a whole 2019, the entire 10 plus years of stuff in there, including the member-only classes. And you'll have download capabilities for every single thing if you want it throughout 2019. So I'm gonna have to promote that in the next day or two. So I don't have a process video for this, but I do have a recording in the Get It Scrap membership. Okay, back to this. No process video, but this is using the Hello Summer, and I did this thing where I had 3 photos of succession, and I combined them. I kind of wanted to combine them into one. It sort of worked. I hope it's not confusing, but kind of like when you have a time lapse and you can see, you know, something moving in the same back frame, but I actually had just 3 separate photos. But that's what I did. I did that in Lightroom and Photoshop, combined them in. And then, yeah, I had fun. This is cut file from, I bought it on the digital press a long time ago, and I don't know the designer, but I did these speech bubbles to add to it. This was done for International Scrapbooking Day on the Scrap Gals Facebook group. It's my 2nd year that I did, in the group they do a challenge each hour with a different host for that challenge, and I hosted one, and mine was, are you a Tiffany or are you a Tracy? Tiffany and Tracy are the Scrap Gals, the founders and the just fabulous hosts of that podcast, the Scrap Gals. Anyway, so they have distinct styles. One's kind of more clean and simple, one's more artsy, And so my challenge was pick one style and scrap lift it. And I scrap lifted Tracy because I do like a bit, I'm not great on clean and simple. Like I have to sprinkle stuff across. It's too plain otherwise. But I definitely identified more with the layout that I saw from her. And this is a lot of Felicity Jane stuff. And yeah, I think mostly Felicity Jane. Just love, love, love doing banners. And I did some little sequins on there. We are to a wild hair kit layout. I think these are my kit from June, and this was, I don't know, this was really joy to make. This kit I think was my favorite wild hair kit I ever got. Just loved the combination of colors. I wanted aquas and oranges. I got aquas and oranges. I love the acrylic I got, this color cast design. I loved, oh my god, loved this sequin mix that came exclusively from Spiegel Mom Scraps because it just had these polka dot. And then I'm an enamel dot freak, so I did add a few things. Like I added these from my stash. But yeah, and then another thing I love, which you'll see here, and then the next layout is the Heidi Swap paper from, I think it's her Hawthorne line, and I want to get more of it. I forgot, but I need to go find that. Anyway, so I did some stamping on this one, and some splatters, and it's a cut file. This is from Paper Issues, and what I did was instead of cut the, everything would have been cut together, including the moon. I erased that when I cut the background, and then I cut the moon separately and lined it. And yeah, I really had fun with this one, and the twine. It was really fun. And I happen to have some stamps that have a similar kind of star, so I added some of that. 2 stamps actually. And of course stitching, gotta add some stitching. Sorry, I do not have a video for this one. That month was crazy. I did not have time to do any video editing. And this one, if I have to pick, this would be my second favorite layout of the year because, one, I love the colors of this kit again. This Pink Fresh Studio, it's this paper, and this is part of it as well. It was like it faded, and this is actually the top like 5 inches of the paper, and it's like, if you saw, the rest was in the bottom, and I cut it and flipped it. But I love that I did this cut file, and I actually offered this for free on my blog. I can leave a link down below, of these words, and I cut it out here. Now this, I can't take credit for this design. This was a scrap lift from April, the founder of Studio Calico. She had a layout years and years and years ago that I still had pinned doing this, and she had her photo here, and she had her journaling here, and I just adapted it for me. Different colors, a little different, but basically it's her layout, and I added the twine across and just had fun with it, and it feels so lush, and I love it. So like I said, this is like Pink Fresh Studio, and this is more of that Heidi Swap. I don't know who's this. I think this is Dear Lizzie. And then this is from a Pink Fresh Studio paper that has tons of different designs. Oh, and this one is from Chamel, box of crayons. I got that particular sheet in 2 kits, and I was so happy I did. Okay, this one has a process video, Simple Stories. This one is the Dream Big collection. It's not my style at all in terms of colors. The pastels kind of driving me a little crazy, but my daughter, who this is when she was 2, This is her favorite layout I made this year. So obviously my kid loves the pastels. But anyway, this is fun. The shoot. This is Geodome, I think, cut file from the cut shop. And I backed it with lots of different patterns from the kit, from the collection, Dream Big collection. And then I left some open so I could have little peekaboo elements as well. Process video for that one. I just said that, didn't I? Wild Hair kits, this is my last kit. I decided to step away from them because I was just I knew I was going to have a really overwhelming summer and fall. So I do miss Wild Hair kits now. But yeah, I did not continue on, and I am going to be a guest designer for her in July of 2019, and I might apply again because I love the kits. I love getting the petite kits and mixing things in. This kit had a lot of Project Life. It had Project Life cards, and there's 5 on here. This is one. It's the back side. This is a Project Life card. These are all Project Life cards, and it was a lot of fun to, so you could see the back there. It was a lot of fun to have them peekabooing out, using the elements on the cards, not worrying about the fact that they're cards. And also Pink Fresh Studio. And the colors are just my thing this year. Grays and greens. Well, green's my favorite. I did do some stamping here on there just to fill in the areas because it was looking a little too white. That's Pink Fresh Studio, Case of the Blahs as well. Process video for that one, and a process video for the last layout I did for the Wild Hair kits. It's the same kit. These are all elements from the chipboard on the Project Life. Now that's the Project 52 Rad kit from Project Life, and those cards were as well. And then also the flare that was in my kit are from a Flare for Buttons, and this is a cut file. This is actually from the cut shop. It's individual alphabet file. I can't remember the name of it, but I will link on the bottom down below. I actually joined them together and welded them and did this whole thing where the U is bigger, and you know, I removed the inside part so I could put my photo there. And the stitching, and I used some watercolors from, they are from Avery L. They're actual liquid watercolors that I kind of splattered, and I didn't really brush them on this time. I did mostly, I did the packaging technique, and then I stitched to match. And this is one of the layouts that Miss Tracy Fox, who's Scrappy Like a Fox on Instagram, love her. She did a whole series this year and last year of trend watch, and one of her trends was the messy stitching. Another trend was also the painted on stripes too, but she featured this one in one of her trend watch videos. Love her. I use white on my bobbin, so I don't have to change out the thread on the bobbin, but I do change out the thread on the top. Okay, that one had a process video, by the way. This one has a process video too. This one was way out of my box for Simple Stories. It's the Lil Dude, not Little, Lil Dude collection, which is so colorful and so boyish, and I went to town using it. It's my daughter, she was doing this whole pretend play thing about being like an Amazon woman and stuff, because I call her my Amazon woman. She's super tall. She's the younger one, and she's the taller one. And yeah, this is TP paper. I fussy cut, and I cut the corners out of this paper. It was one of my favorites, just the vibrant blue and it has little splatters built into the actual paper. And I loved the puffy stickers in this collection. So I just mixed it all up and I threw it all on there, and yeah, it's very colorful. I did have a process video for this, and I mentioned it there in the process video. There are links to where you can get the free font that I used to do this journaling. This is Forget It Scrapped. It's another double pager, and sadly I didn't have the video. I don't even have video for this that I could edit, because it was one of the times where, you know, video got lost. This double pager, it was, not gonna lie, a little challenging, because the assignment was to use the lines in your photos. Lots of times when you have weird lines in your photos, you try to ignore them. You don't. This time you had to use them, and so I used these travel photos, and I, like for instance, the curve here, that's why I lined them up so the curve lines up, even though it's not even the same spot where I took a photo. And then I continue the line here, and here with the steps and the pathway, continue the line this way. In the end, I mean, I love this layout. It's fun. It just took a long time, and lining things up and then going through here, and I had to like make some letters. But anyway, this has a few different papers, like, you know, it's just got some cardstock. I can't remember what this is from, but it does have this awesome alphabet from Studio Calico, and I think I went back and reordered it because I love it so much. There was only like one of each letter. And some awesome Allie Edwards travel kit from this year, some of her products, and then a few. These are Gossamer Blue. Sadness, I'm still sad Gossamer Blue is gone. And some Evalicious too. So this is quite a mix of stuff, and it makes me very happy. Oh, this is a transparency from Pretty Little Studio. I wish I wish I could even go back and edit a process video for this one, because I know that people are just always asking for double page layout process videos. Okay, so we are over here to Simple Stories, School Rocks. I had a chevron file that was just some chevrons I traced, and I made my own file. I did offer that for free on my blog. And then I just backed them, and I used one of the Simple Stories has Snap Packs, basic packs, and this is one of their papers, so it's not in this School Rocks pack. I don't know, I like using the yellow in this one a lot. So I'm glad I only splattered yellow, because I was gonna splatter all the colors, and I started with yellow, and that's what I left it at. School Rocks is a fun collection. There's a process video for that. This was, oh my god, this one was super fun. Erica Thompson from Erica Rose Creates, and she is one of the owners of Click Kits, invited me to participate in a blog hop for her. I think she got, was it 1,500, 1,000 subscribers? I don't know. I remember the number of subscribers, but she was celebrating with the blog hop, and she invited me, and there was a cup file that we could use, 2 cup files we could use, and I used both. This one here with the circles that are cut out, and also they're cut out both ways, so you got the positive and negatives, and I did put these back on. And then this cut file that says Celebrate, there were a couple versions of it, and I backed it with vellum. And I used some sequins, because my daughter's little outfit had all the sequins, and this was fun. I am so happy that she invited me to play along. Thanks, Erica. There is a process video for that, because it was a YouTube blog hop. YouTube hop, sorry. This one, Forget It Scrapped. So I have had everything in order, pretty much in order of how I made it. You haven't seen this yet, and I do intend to do the process video. It is a double pager, but I haven't had time to edit the double page video. And the assignment here was to use hashtags in your design. So I did a nice big bold title with the hashtag FoxFamFun, because I actually use the hashtag when I share when my little family 4 is doing things together. You know, as my kids get older, they don't really want to hang out with us as much anymore. But when we go out and do stuff together, I hashtag it with that. And then I also added this paper. This is from Pebbles Girl Squad. It has lots of little hashtags. Lots of old product mixed in here too. Some Studio Calico stuff, like these veneers. And I have Flair. I think the Flair's from a few places, like I believe this mini one. Minis are usually Feed Your Craft. And then these, I believe, are Crafty Pocket. She's awesome. And there's some more Girl Squad. There's like I stamped that on a yellow piece of paper, and that's from a Brandy Kincaid stamp. This is from Pink Fresh Studio Case of the Blas. A lot of mix. This is Laura Balora, who is a Spanish, as in from Spain, designer that has products, and I've ordered her products shipped from Spain. Yeah, just a few other things. So, oh, the other thing I want to mention is I did the painted stripes, which was another trend that Tracy Fox mentioned in her trend watch. And I had done this several months before she came out with those. And I'm like, oh yeah, I did one of those. Oh yeah, I basically covered it all up. So, watch for the process video for this one. Coming soon. This was an experiment for me that I feel like was a failed experiment. I went to a crop, my very first actual crop. I met tons of great women there. Some of them are on YouTube, like my friend Simone. And it was really fun to hang out. But because I had never done an actual crop, I've done weekend getaways, and I work on my own thing with my family, working on other things too. My mother-in-law, sister-in-law. But I've never gone to a crop at a store. It was at a store and all that. I wasn't sure what to work on, so I tried to do a scrap lift. And I spent the whole day scrap lifting one page. And I feel like that was a failure. I love the page. It has similar components as the scrap lift, and I do not, it's pinned on my Pinterest. I don't remember the designer, but it's like a page she made like 5 years ago. I like how this came out, but I don't think straight up scrap lifting is for me. I take ideas for people, but I don't think I can actually straight up scrap lift, because then you have to find things that match, and that drove me crazy. Also, I kind of got really, my little circles here that I did with a stencil got messed up. But otherwise, I do like this page, and it is full of old stuff. Oh my god, I think this is like making memories, a little alpha tiles, acrylics back then. It has some Spiegelmom Scraps sequins from a sequin mix that I got from my Wild Hair Kits last year. You got some Pink Fresh Studio, Bella Boulevard, a couple different washi. This is vellum from Pretty Little Studio. I love getting vellum and acetate from Pretty Little Studio. So it's quite a mix, and I do think I love the page, but no more scrap lifting at crops. I think I will stick to something mindless, like organizing photos at a crop. All right. I don't know how much time has gone by. I'm sorry if I'm going too slow. I can't stop talking. There'll be a quicker version on my IGTV if you want to just go see a quick flip through. All right. So this is Simple Stories Forever Fall, which is probably my favorite line of the whole year. No, not probably. It is my favorite line that came out this whole year. And full credit to Paige Evans, who first started doing this cascading strips down. Hers is all in the middle. I did my own take on this with the strips here and here going across my photo. I know this layout got lots of love in Instagram, and it has a lot of love from me too. there is a process video, so go check this out. Maybe I'll probably be linking this one up on the screen. Simple stories, simple vintage Halloween. I am not a vintage person, not a vintage girl, but I loved the colors, the very traditional colors on this line. So I made this. I wanted something to brighten up the vintage. So I actually have, this is watercolor paper that I watercolored on because I wanted to be smooth. And I was doing more than just stripes. But also I wanted to brighten it up. There's a process video. You can see how I decided. Well, I started one way and I changed the way I did it. I wanted to lighten up the vintage, so I did the whole back. The background is white, and it almost looks like the layout's cut off here, but it's not. There's white on there, and you can see the little peekaboos of some of the stars and some splatters. And yeah, this one came out pretty fun. It was pretty fun to work on. There's a process video. Simple vintage Halloween. Tried to not really be vintage. I did add some pinky coloring to match the pink because pink is not in the collection. And I added in my own enamel dots. All right, Forever Fall again. Very different layout than last time. That was very dark and like that. Dark and light. This one was Traveler Notebook inspired, and also the vertical title inspired, which was also a Scrappy Trend Watch video from Tracy Fox. So anyways, I was seeing Traveler's Notebooks that used like a vertical title one side and the photo and stuff on the other, and I just sort of combined it into one thing. There's a process video for this one, and I had a lot of fun. This is a cut file from the cut shop, and it actually has feeling in filled in font, and I used it. I cut it off the top. I just used it and I poked through the middle of each letter to do my stitching, and then did my stitching. So the actual cut file is called Finally Fall, I believe. And this one's just one of the words in that file. Oh, and this is one of two, not just one, but two layouts where I accidentally put 2018, and this was done before December. Because obviously it wasn't December 2018. It was 2015. I'll have to change that before I file it away. Then I was invited by Jody Spiegelhoff from Spiegel Mom Scraps to be a guest designer for November, and that was a lot of fun. It was challenging for me in that I've not used many sequins. I like to scatter them, but the challenge for me was design around sequins, that being one of the primary things I wanted to portray on the layout, to emphasize on the layout. And I had a lot of fun. And yes, the E's missing. It fell off because I have all my layouts displayed vertically on clips on the wall before I put them away. And the E fell, and then it got vacuumed up. I don't know where it is. I gotta find it. But those are from the alphas from Ellie Studio, and I know I have that alpha. I just gotta go pull out an E. Okay, so anyway, Spiegel Mom Scraps design guest for November, and I did some layouts that I really, really love how they turned out, because sequins were I like sequins, but they've never been like my biggest thing. So this one, purple hair, don't care. I colored my hair purple. There's 4 different shades of purple in the summer, and I wanted to capture that with shades of purple. And I used the Cocoa Vanilla Studio, one of their lines. Can't remember, Wild at Heart, I believe. Yeah, so that's what I decorated with. And then I added little sequins. The mix that I used had these leaves in purple, and then several different sequins that I lined up on some of my stitch lines. I also cut some thin circles out of some papers too. There is a process video for this one. And then I made this for her, and I know this layout got a lot of love. It's on one of my top 9 for 2018, and I have a process video for this, so I guess I shouldn't just tell you everything about it, right? But I used the Spiegelman Scraps. She had sent me one of these shimmer pastes as well, and then this is from Felicity Jane. This is Felicity Jane as well, that acrylic, which is fabulous. Wish I had more of it. And these strips of words are Ali Edwards from an old December Daily kit. I gotta say, this black, it's a chalkboard black paper. It shows every little mistake on it though. And then I also designed this one for the Spiegelman Scraps, and I was inspired by two of the sequin mixes she sent me. They looked so, I don't know, pastel candy colored, and so I made a little stitched mason jar. I did double up. This is like something else. A stitched mason jar with, and then sequins pouring out. I just wanted it to look like you're sprinkling sprinkles on cookies. So this is for Christmas cookies. And I do not have a process video for this, sorry. This is, I'm very proud of this one. This is the layout that got published in Scrapbooking Cards magazine, and that's my first layout published in a magazine. I have actually had 2 quilts published in magazines, but I've never had a scrapbook layout. So I'm very proud of this, and it is a cut file from the Silhouette store, and the one around it is a cut file from Paper Issues. And then what I did was, since they're thin letters, I stitched within the letters instead of just having them backed by paper. And then I put little cute things in between where they had a cutout asterisk. I just erased those before I cut it, and then I put little things on top. I'm very proud of this. Nearing the end, Simple Stories, Merry and Bright collection, 2 layouts. This one, I was going for a layered effect, and here we have more of, haven't been pointed out, but you know, the journaling strips on vellum is becoming a thing for me. There's a process video for this one. Added pom-poms. This collection had not only the regular bits and pieces, but also a whole bunch of frames. So I like these 2 frames, and that's what I based my layout around. And some stitching and lovely, lovely plaid. Merry and Bright. And then this layout, which I have yet to edit the video for, but I do plan to, so look out for this one. It's also the Merry and Bright, but I wanted to get a very fresh take on using the same collection. So this one I used a Swiss dot basil. I think the color is called Salt. Can you see that? The texture. And then I did something that I've only done once or twice before, and I did a black and white photo because it was really colored weird, and I do feel like something that Susanna, she's a YouTuber as well, said in one of her recent layouts where she used black and white, and I made a comment. She says black and white lets you concentrate on the emotion of the photo, and she's so right. And I am glad I turned this black and white. It was going to be difficult to do it colored, and I really wanted this somewhat monochromatic. and really play up the buffalo plaid. This is actually 3 different cut files at the Silhouette store that are from Simple Stories that I welded together, and I did film that, recorded that on my screen, so that'll be part of the process video when it comes out. And more of the vellum journaling. I have one more thing to share, and that was one of the Spiegel Mom Scraps projects that I did. One of the sequin mixes, I made little hexagon shaker pockets, and this one is in a, so this means there's a process video. There's a process video for both of these, 2 process videos. This is a cut file from Amy Jo Brandenbrink. Oh my God, I think I'm butchering her name. Paper and Spools on social media and her blog. She had a free cut file like this with the hexagons, and I used sequin mix to make some shaker pockets in here. And this is the back. Pink Fresh Studio and Felicity Jane products mostly. And then the little charm, and I made all these. This is from Color Cast Design. There's just 2 veneer. Okay, I'm butchering this. All right, so I think I just need to stop because I'm at the end and I'm tired and my voice is just going. So, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you've enjoyed this flip through. I am one that likes to see the details of the flip throughs and doesn't mind that it takes a long time, and I hope you are too, because I took a long time. And I have a reward for you sticking around. I didn't even mention it at the beginning, but I am doing a giveaway to thank you all for all the support that I've gotten in my channel, especially in 2018. So, here we go. Hey, I'm back. I switched to recording handheld because the glare from all this packaging was messing with the lighting and how the camera was picking everything up. But I just want to say thank you for all the support that I got in 2018, and I want to do a giveaway. I'm going to do 2 packages, one on YouTube, one on Instagram. Both are going to have 2 collections from Simple Stories. This one is the I Am collection, and it is a big collection which is only missing a few little elements and I think 1 paper. And the Travel Notes collection, which is also a full collection, but missing 1 paper and a couple of stickers. And the other package has the Dream Big collection. This is complete, and it is one of those big collections. And then the Good Vibes collection, which was a mini kit, it is also complete. So I figured that 1 big and 1 small collection, but all complete, and then 2 big collections, but missing a few items, kind of evened out. And then I got from Spiegel Mom Scraps when I guest designed in November. Oh, she was very generous with a lot of sequin mixes, and there's just a couple that I don't think I'm going to end up using. There's way too many for 1 month designing. And then from Scrapbooking Cards Today magazine, when I got back my layout that was sent out for publication, they sent some goodies, and I'm passing these along. It's the same stamps and die set from Hero Arts. So, to enter to get the I Am collection and the Travel Notes collection with the stamp and die and sequin mix, and maybe I'll throw in some other goodies, on YouTube, please subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and then leave me a comment telling me something that you liked about my videos in 2018, either a specific project that you liked, how I described something, maybe a demo. And then if you go over to Instagram, I will have a post, and I will have an IGTV as well going with my flip through. either the post or IGTV, please do the same. Be a follower, like, give a little heart to the post, and then give me the same kind of comment. Something that you liked about what I shared, or you can even give me a comment of what something you're looking forward to in 2019 that I could do. I am going to give you guys a week for this. So until midnight Pacific time, January 7th. And then I will pick a winner for each package on January 8th. And I'll announce it in both places. And again, thank you so much, everyone, for all your support. I am looking forward to sharing more in 2019.